Welcome all once again. I am Ranganathan. I am glad to conduct this NLP intro seminar, NLP basics to you all. Thank you all for being here for this session as you have registered. Thanks for spending your time with us to know on the basics of neuro-linguistic programming. And in fact, I assume that people who are present for this webinar are people who are new to NLP, who want to know on NLP, and so I'm presenting it on the basics of neuro-linguistic programming. And so, as I keep presenting it, whatever doubts you have, hold on to that. And at the end of the program, when there is a question hour, you can unmute and ask those specific questions, and I can give my answer to your doubts and queries on neuro-linguistic programming. And once again, I thank Prosenix Prasad, who has been of great support to me, who is into project management and other technically oriented training programs, and he's so fascinated about NLP. He has been asking me to conduct webinars, and I'm here with you again to share my insights on neuro-linguistic programming. And I'm sharing it in the capacity of my experience in NLP for the past 14 years, I would say. And I've done substantial, if I can use the word, research in NLP, in understanding our Eastern philosophical thought and NLP's understanding of human psyche. And I've written a book in Tamil also, and I've done comparatively, I've written on Thirukkural and NLP, Swami Vivekananda and NLP, all those. So with that background, of course, I'm a trainer by profession. I've been conducting programs for corporates on behavioral skills, and I'm a certified coach, ICF certified coach. And I also do emotional healing or psychological counseling to people with the tools of neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah, and I'm a part-time actor in movies, not in movies, I would say in serials, Tamil serials, which is my mother tongue, and the only two languages that I know is Tamil and English. Yeah. So with this brief background, let me move on to the further one. Yeah. So I want you to watch this video. So now I want you to reflect on the video that you just saw. Maybe the audio you did not hear, but nevertheless, reflect on the video you saw just for about 10 seconds. I'm going to be silent for 10 seconds and reflect on this video. What you see. All right, yeah. So some of you people are asking for entry now. Okay, so mute all. Yeah. So some of you might have thought, no, the bullock is a slave. It is just caught with the routine and it is seeking its own pain. It's a slave of its own habit, and it did not even think of escaping when there is no master over there. Perhaps some of you might have thought like that. Or some of you might have thought, wow, the bullock is a self-starter. It's really is interested in this profession, in its job, and very joyously it takes its assignment and goes on with its routine. It has a set routine, and it is very, very happy. I mean, these are the perceptions that can pop up in your mind as you see a video. It's just a video, yet perceptions vary. My friends, our whole of life is all just a perception. Our life is shaped or ruled by the perceptions that we hold in our head as to what we understand from events happening around us. Events keep happening, but how we have given meaning to the event and how we respond to it is what makes the whole world a difference between those who have been successful in life and those who are yearning for success, maybe even throughout their lifetime. It's here, NLP says, your whole world is governed by your perception, or all your limitations in your life is between your 2 ears. Whatever you think as right or wrong is all your own making. There is nothing out there, and everything, your behavior, your response to life events, your answer to situations are based on your perception, which is shaped by your beliefs, which you have acquired from the past, the results of your action, the learning that you got, or the conclusions that you have come to. All these things shape your perception. So NLP says that you are what you think. And if what you think is appropriate and is giving the result that you want, fantastic. Life is really fantastic. And unfortunately, if you are not getting what you want, if you feel that life is playing a trick with you, or you are at a disadvantageous situation, and will a savior come? Will somebody come to rescue me? If you are in that situation, my friend, the unfortunate fact of life is that there is no savior outside of you. Maybe one exception we can give, God, because in whom we repose. He or she, in whatever form and shape and way we believe, is that one belief maybe we can hold on. Other than that, no other human being can take responsibility for your life and can do for you. It's individual. You and only you can make that change in you that is happening. So once you choose to attend the NLP program, you can see a sea of change in you if currently the life that you're leading is not giving you satisfaction. Yeah, that's nice. Truth is, every one of us is a conditioned being. There's nothing like absolutely free that we can do anything and everything in this world. Yes, we are free to do what we want to do, yet our behavior, our response will be based on certain programming that has happened in you. It's more about how we have been programmed to behave. We are all a conditioned being. Nobody can escape this conditioning. So if you want to remove one conditioning which is not doing good for you, which is not appropriate for you, for example, supposing a person says that easily irritated, somehow I feel I'm irritated and I don't want that irritation to happen. So what should be done is that you can program your mind by another conditioning and replace this condition. I don't want to get irritated as I'm exhibiting. Though I say that I don't want to get irritated, somehow the irritation comes to me helplessly and I feel bad after that. So you can program your mind with NLP and replace this unwanted conditioning with a wanted conditioning. A conditioning which is useful for you. which is appropriate for him. So that way, we cannot escape conditioning in this material manifested world. Please understand, we are all a conditioned creature. That is how we can behave. That's why all training is a conscious conditioning, and all conditioning is an unconscious training. And so, if you have been behaving in certain areas, in certain ways, which is not liked by you, and you are helplessly be exhibiting that, that means unconsciously you are exhibiting that behavior, you can choose to attend an NLP program and consciously program your mind and get released from this unconscious behavior and instill a conscious behavior that you want. It's possible through NLP. Richard Bandler, the co-founder of Neuro Linguistic Programming, says every human is a highly programmable being. All of us are exhibiting a programmed behavior. As a child, we were programmed by our parents, later by our society, then in the school and colleges by our peers, by our friends. So we have been exhibiting unconsciously behavior and influence of people around. And so if we can be programmed in a particular way, we can always be programmed in a different way. So all behavior, according to NLP, is a programmed behavior. It is possible to change the program. There's nothing like genetically got behavior that I cannot change. It is not like that. So it is possible to change your behavior. Maybe it takes some more time perhaps. May not happen immediately, but it is possible to change. It's not impossible. It is possible to change your behavior through a specific set of patterns. And where does this programming happen? This programming happens at the subconscious mind. Yeah. Many of you may be familiar with the subconscious mind, the word at least subconscious mind. And psychology very clearly says that a subconscious mind is the seat of our beliefs and behavior. And I would like to share with you another very interesting fact shared by Timothy Galway in his book, Inner Game of Tennis. That's the first book that he wrote. Then Inner Game of Golf. Then this Inner Game of Work. Timothy Galway was a coach, tennis coach. And he found in his study that players who are, though well skilled, adept, trained, and very good at playing, when they have inside their mind any doubt about their performance or any anxiety sets in, they could not perform to their full capability. That's what he observed. And so he wanted to study why it happens. And so he divided the trainees or coaches into two groups, and one group he made them actually practice in the court. They were making completely a sincere practice in the court, rigorous practice in the court, holding the racket on hand and serving it, receiving it, playing it. And another set of players or coaches, he asked them to internally do the play. Those players who are playing internally were actually playing internally. That means they visualized being in the court. They visualized being in the court over there, holding the racket. They see the net, they see the opponent, the place, the feel of the place, the aroma of the place, the sound, everything. And they simulated a game happening, as if serving, receiving, giving back, winning, and people are cheering. So for about a month, you can say, one set of people played entirely inside their head. A simulation was happening. Other set was actually playing practicing in the ground. And after this practice period, when actual tournament came, Timothy Galway found those people who did their inner game precisely, they performed as if it's a matter of fact. it was like dancing, as if there was whole synchronization between body and mind. There was no thought in their mind about ball coming towards them. They're receiving it. They have to hit back. Nothing like it. That means they were thinking without thinking. That means it was a state of flow, as if like a dancer dancing. Those people who played the inner game performed far better than those who actually practiced in the court. The difference he found was, Timothy Galway says, there are two selves that we have. One is self one, which is an evaluator, which is the analyst, who is a judge, who is a critic. He always says, play carefully. You have to win. If you don't win, something can happen. So the fear of failure or anxiety. So carrying all that, these people, when they play, they could not perform at their best. That means it's something like having one leg on the brake and then giving acceleration. So the self one has been a critic, and self two is actual performer. It is potential performance is there. It is not allowed to perform because this critic is always putting a brake over there, spirit brake over there. So when self one is silenced and self two is given fullest freedom, then self two actively played to its best naturally, and everything happened wonderfully. Because self two is subconscious mind, which is a programmed behavior, and it just exhibits so natural. The analytical brain is put to silence, and self two is given the fullest charge. Yeah. So that is what NLP says. This critic is doing the internal dialogue, which says, be careful, don't do anything wrong, don't commit wrong. So whereas self two is feeling upset, what is this? You're not allowing me full freedom. Then NLP said, okay, through the process of neuro-linguistic programming, we can silence this critic and support the performer. Mere willpower does not work here. Don't say keep quiet. The only job of the critic is to keep on talking. Whereas when you find a way by which you can silence it by a process, then the critic or the conscious mind is quiet, cool, relaxed, and then subconscious mind wakes up to give its best. In that respect, hypnosis is one way of silencing the conscious mind or bypassing the critical thinking to directly touching the power of subconscious mind and tapping it, the giant power sleeping in us, by which people are able to reach their fullest potential. Even as human being, we know that our body is governed by subconscious mind. Lot of automatic process going on, like breathing is going on, digestion is going on, blood circulation is going on. Any cut or wound happening, the system takes care of it. Body has its wisdom. All these are governed by subconscious mind, and only when the conscious mind, by so-called intelligence, interferes, questions, doubts it, then subconscious mind gets confused. Like now, how the COVID-19 is going on. Most of the people are not afraid of really COVID per se, by the rumor and the information is causing most pain in their mind. The moment any sign of COVID means, they feel upset totally. It could be just a viral infection that can come and go. The body has the power to fight and throw it out. That's all doctors say. All that we have to do is develop immunity. Yet, intellectually we know, develop the immunity, we can fight COVID. Everything is fine to say. The moment COVID or sign of it is there, people become jittery. It's because a critic says, be careful. The information from the TV said like this, that person has died. So this critic confuses. Whereas through NLP, you can program your mind so beautifully, so nicely, that this critic will be quietly watching the performer, and your life can be really smooth and fantastic. Yes. Just for an idea, if you are not really so very familiar, conscious mind's contribution to daily activity is only 10%. If you want to understand something, use conscious mind. If you want to perform, execute, then it is subconscious mind. And 90% of life activity, everyday activity, is automatic activity. Unconscious mind takes over. Just recall what you did in the morning while you were brushing your teeth. Did you think you were brushing your teeth? No. You thought something else, and then automatically the hand took, and you took the toothpaste and then put it and then brushed it, walked away. Yeah. So most of the activity is unconscious activity. If those are rhythmic, normal, non-challenge, okay, life smoothly runs. And only when that is challenged over there, then it goes off the track, and then something needs to be done to bring it back. Yeah. So whole of NLP is putting the conscious mind to a regulation, a proper process, and programming your subconscious mind. Conscious mind is all about reason, logic, analysis, form, time, space. It's about judgment. It's about calculation. It's about conscience, moral, right or wrong. All these morality, right or wrong, varies from society to society. It's how it's taught in us. Then it is linear. It can go only in one way. Of course, it is said to be masculine. Yeah. And subconscious mind is all about intuition. A conscious mind can go only by a known. That means you can know something based on what you already know. A new knowledge information is given, you compare it with your past knowledge, and then try to arrive at a conclusion, move forward. So that's how conscious mind. The subconscious mind can take anything directly, or it can even infer, it can intuitively know beforehand. So intuition is knowing without knowing how you know. That's how I give the interpretation. Emotions, feelings, it transcends logic, and subconscious mind thinks in terms of images. That is why in dreams you get mostly images only. Less of sentences, less of sound, less of statement. Mostly dreams are full of images only, pictures and scenes happening, and simultaneous. That means you can do many things. A conscious mind is set to handle only plus or minus maximum of 7 events at a time, where a subconscious mind can register at the same time endless things around us. It keeps on taking everything. Yeah? And it is non-linear. That means it can happen simultaneously in many directions. It can be circular, it can be spherical, in odd way. And subconscious mind is non-judgmental. It takes things as it is. That's why they say don't crack a joke on yourself, because subconscious mind does not have a sense of humor. And if you say a jokingly, I'm a fool, then subconscious mind takes you to be a fool. Yeah. And it is very artistic. It's very creative. And it is said to be feminine. So this is just an idea about conscious mind and subconscious mind. And NLP relies heavily on subconscious mind, because there is nothing to fear about subconscious mind. It's all doing good. One of the presuppositions of NLP is your subconscious mind is always friendly and helpful. The NLP term for subconscious mind is unconscious mind, because whatever is beyond your conscious awareness is called unconscious mind. So according to NLP, your unconscious mind is always benevolent and very, very helpful. It helps you to stay safe and good all the time. This is something very, very interesting. We have a very exclusive privilege. Like between stimulus and response, it is said, I'm saying it is said because it's not done by me, it is said that all human beings, all species respond only in a pre-programmed way. A dog can behave only like a dog in all the context and situation. It can bark only like a dog. You cannot teach singing to a dog. It can only bark. It doesn't do. A cat can only meow. So they all exhibit only an instinctive intelligence. It's a pre-programmed one. A stimulus and an instinctive response. If you train the dog to behave differently, it keeps on exhibiting only that. It cannot cross beyond the programmed response. Whereas as human beings, we are endowed with something called creative imagination. that it is said, because I have not found it, psychologists say, it is said that human beings are endowed with what is called this creative imagination. And this creative imagination is what is giving us all the good or bad. All our fear or is an imagined fear. Because in real life, when you actually face a threat, it's instant. And then we fight or flight and then we respond. Whereas at leisure, when we think, all those assumed fears are the response of this creative imagination only. This creative imagination makes all the, oh, this is going to happen like this is going to happen like this. COVID-19, this problem has come, that business has come down, I may lose my job, or this can happen. We generate those thoughts which are not useful to us. So human beings are using this creative imagination, sometimes usefully, sometimes not usefully. So whenever you are using uselessly or not usefully, you can change your pattern of thinking with NLP training, and you can productively use this creative imagination. That's why NLP says that success need not come through hard work. Success can come through proper, appropriate imagination. And how to do that imagination or visualization? Of course, NLP has got wonderful tools you can use when you learn NLP. Yes. So animals have pre-programmed behavior, which is called instinctive intelligence. And human beings can reprogram their behavior. If one behavior is not appropriate, is not helping them, is not useful to them, they don't have to get stuck in that programmed behavior. In that behavior, they can reprogram it, alter the behavior through a proper process. And we are endowed with something called inferential intelligence. That means 1 + 1 is equal to 2, or 1 + 1 can be 11. Based on the context, we can infer and go. Or we have intuitive intelligence. That means we can intuit or know beforehand what is likely to happen. We are endowed with this inferential intelligence and intuitive intelligence. And this can happen if we tap the power of our subconscious mind. And how to tap the power of subconscious mind? Of course, training like NLP definitely gives you that clue and power. So much has been said. And what is NLP? What is Neuro Linguistic Programming? Maybe if you can, I can use a story. A boy asked the mother, "Amma, what is NLP?" So the mother said, "Yeah, I'll certainly explain to you. Your grandpa is there, right? Yeah, he's sitting in the veranda of the house. Yeah, those days, veranda, in those days, yeah, not like the cities with apartments. So go and ask your grandpa, how is life for him today? Or how his life has been for him?" So the grandson runs to his grandpa and, "Grandpa, tell me, how is life for you?" Grandpa says, "Oh, what can I say? It's all paining in the body, dragging and pulling every day. And I pray for you to really be successful in life. It's okay, running. That's all. Why do you ask me this? No, I'll come." Then he rushes to mother and goes and tells the mother what the grandpa said, everything. So grandpa said with a tone of regret and struggle. Then the mother said to the boy, "Go and ask your grandpa. Ask him to say one event which was very interesting for him in your behavior." So he ran and asked his grandpa, "What one behavior of me is most interesting for you?" Grandpa says, yeah, your curiosity, your inquisitiveness, your playfulness, and you just come and hug me and kiss me, and you're fond of me, and so that is what making me feel really happy about you." The boy came and said to his mother, "This is what grandpa said." Then mother asked him, "Did you notice his face?" Yeah, grandpa was smiling, all clear. There was sparkling in his eyes. The mother said, "This is what is NLP," meaning it changes the state of mind. It changes the pattern of thinking by simply one intervention of asking a question. So NLP is all about changing the way you think in any moment. If you are thinking unresourcefully meaning If you're thinking negatively, you can think positively by a proper programming. It's possible simply by tools and techniques that are shared in the workshop, and people who attend the NLP workshop know that they can change your behavior. Yeah. So NLP meaning Neuro Linguistic Programming. Yeah. The name may sound very bombastic because the founders of NLP wanted to give a very comprehensive definition or explanation. So they put it as Neuro Linguistic Programming. Yeah. So neuro actually refers to mind. It doesn't refer to the brain or the physical brain that you have or the neurons over there. Because neural pathway they talk of, but then here, according to NLP, mind is coming into play by the sensory input that we get. Whenever we say we are thinking, or when you just recall something happened in the morning, when you just recall, you cannot escape from recalling visual images of what happened in the morning, or any sound related to that, or any feeling related to that. So whenever we say I'm thinking, you are thinking only using your senses. You cannot escape the sensory input or impulse in your thinking. So when you say mind, mind comprises of the impressions of the senses. Like for example now, when somebody is asking you, what are you doing now? You will tell them, wait, I'm attending a webinar. How do you know you're attending a webinar now? Because you are seeing the screen in front of you and something is displayed over there. My voice is heard and you feel the atmosphere through the screen, and also you feel unconsciously the atmosphere you are in. All these things are happening in you and that is carried to your mind. And once the sensory impulses reaches inside the brain, those impulses, impressions of senses are interpreted based on your past programming, based on your past understanding. Like I'm talking to you in English, since you are familiar with English and are tuned to different accents and pronunciations, maybe you are able to understand what I'm saying, even though I'm pronouncing in a particular way, my accent is a particular way, you are able to make sense out of what I'm saying based on your acquired information and your ability to understand. And based on that, you are programming. That means you have programmed yourself to sit quietly and listen to what I'm saying. Like many of you have muted your audio. That's a wonderful thing. Because being a person responsible for your learning and you have been attending seminars, or maybe many of you are even conducting webinars in your line of discipline, you are programming yourself to behave appropriately and your response is appropriate to this context. So whole of NLP is also about neuro-linguistic programming. How a person receives information from the outside world and how he refers it to the past understanding and response it. So receive, refer, respond. That's what NLP is all about. That means NLP is all about human behavior. How a person thinks, how a person speaks, how a person behaves. So it's all about human behavior only. And it is done in a pretty structured way so that it is useful to human being. And some of the definitions are, NLP is a study of human behavior. It's a method to program your mind, because we are all a programmed being, we are a programmable being, and we exhibit only a programmed behavior. We cannot escape from that. Like how an elephant is seen. An elephant is always programmed in a particular way and it can behave only in a particular way. We cannot escape this programming. Same way, we cannot escape a programming. So only thing we need to become aware of, which are all the behavior not useful to us, which are useful to us. Something not useful and you want to do something with that, then you apply NLP and change your programming. or we can say NLP is a manual for mind management. And you are seeing a bridge over here. I would say NLP is the bridge between aspiration and action, because many of us want to do so many things. I want to do this, I want to do that, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. No, we have been aspiring. I really want to exercise every day morning. I really want to go for walking every day. I really want to do this. But when it comes to action, it doesn't translate into action. A lot of impediments come, internal, external, So there is always a gap between aspiration and action. And if you want to fill that gap between aspiration and action, I challenge you, NLP is a very handy, powerful tool to quickly program your mind to get into action and get the result that you want. I'm saying it out of my experience so far, and it is possible for you to get into action, whatever that you desire to do. Not something imposed on you. It's about you aspire for something and you want that to happen, and somewhere you are not able to translate that into action. Believe me, with NLP intervention, you can put into action and get the result that you want. NLP is the bridge. It's a bridge between aspiration and action. How is NLP useful? You can gain significant growth in profession because you come to manage your thinking. You are in control of your thinking. You're able to have a new set of thinking. You're able to change your mindset. And since you feel you are in control of your life situation, you know that you can significantly grow in your life. That confidence comes and you definitely grow in your profession. You can iron out differences in relationship because you come from a position of strength and certainty. So even if you have differences with somebody else, you are able to talk to the person directly, look at the face of the person, talk to the person openly, approach on issue-based, we're able to approach on issue-based this one and clarify it and then ratify and move forward. So instead of prejudiced view, you're able to keep your mind open and you have issue-based approach. And so you can develop quality relationship which is rewarding. You can gain greater confidence to explore and move forward in your dream because this comfort zone, you're able to cross beyond your comfort zone because you have greater confidence. Challenges are easy for you because NLP says there is no failure, only feedback. Since you're so certain of your ability to learn and grow, challenges are something like a chocolate for you that you'd like to adventure and move forward. So you're able to move in the direction of your dream. And so you're able to successfully implement new plans, business strategies, and more. And in business, you can create dynamic teams because you understand team chemistry. You're able to understand the individuals based on their orientation. You're able to elicit cooperation by a process of, say, reflecting the values and beliefs of your people and team around. And so you're able to elicit cooperation. A greater customer satisfaction can be got because you understand how customers behave and what do they want. You're able to adapt yourself to changes happening. There is no resistance within you. You are flexible enough to alter your approach to changes and you're able to adapt and move forward. And this is the core of NLP. You can model excellence. Whole of NLP, in fact, came from modeling. That means study the pattern of successful people, their behavior, their beliefs, their values. How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they behave? And what do they do? Specifically, you can code. There are specific tools of NLP. You can code them, write the program, and simply start emulating, and you can imbibe those good qualities. And you can model excellence. That is why NLP is said to be science of excellence or psychology of excellence. Yeah, it's possible to excel in any endeavor that you want by a proper methodology of mental strategies. Motivational strategy. People are motivated for various reasons, and you can It's called meta programming. So it's a study of the thinking pattern of people, and NLP has categorized the motivational strategy of people. And once you know the motivational strategy of another person, you can motivate them in the way they respond, or you can say respond to their map of reality, and you are able to motivate them, not by dictating, by influencing, not by coercion, but by seeking commitment from them. It is easy, and there are quality communication systems available in NLP. It's called meta model. It's about seeking or eliciting information from somebody else by a precision questioning process, by asking questions in a very, very friendly way. At the same time, in a very specific way, you can extract information from people, and also you can influence people through your words, through your language. It's called Milton model. So it's all about enhancing people's skill. And business is all about dealing with people. It's not just machines. It's not just product. We deal with, even if it's automated, even if it is whatever it is machine oriented, still people are behind it. So NLP deals with people, and so long as you're dealing with people, NLP is relevant for you in your life. And quickly, a similarity between coaching and NLP is what I would like to share. Coaching is always about future, what next to happen. It doesn't simply sit and dissect or analyze the past. It's about what next to happen. And NLP is also outcome oriented. What should happen in the future? It doesn't sit and analyze the past. NLP is outcome oriented. In coaching, the coach fully trusts the coachee, establishes. That means the coachee is endowed with whatever good and believes that, the coach believes the coachee. Same way, NLP believes the subject. Whatever the subject says is final for NLP. There is no question of analysis, judgment, evaluation based on an external parameter. No. Coaching is provoking the thinking of the coachee or the client and help them to figure out their answers. So it is helping as a catalyst. Even NLP also is a catalyst for change. NLP does not dictate. NLP does not directly give direction. NLP does not command. It understands subject, and whatever that they want to, in that direction, NLP gives tools. The purpose is determined by the subject. Process is given by NLP. Believes coachee has the fullest potential. A coach necessarily has to believe coachee has the fullest potential. Then only the process is really beneficial for both the coach and the coachee. Client is already resourceful. According to NLP, people already have all the resources they need. Coach and coach relationship built on trust. And NLP also says that rapport is very important for relationship. And building awareness and responsibility in the mind of the coachee is coach's job. NLP says, become aware of what is going on inside you and outside. Whole purpose of NLP is making you more and more aware of what is going on in you and around you. Same way, like coaching, NLP is also about people-centric, and it believes people are valuable, people are already good. Only thing is, in the expression of the ability, people vary. So that way, NLP helps to bring the innate good qualities in you, maybe hitherto not realized. NLP helps you to realize your potential, helps you to realize your talents and abilities, your uniqueness, and makes you exhibit in your life in the way you want it, and you can become successful in your life. And how is it made possible? NLP says you are unique. You are unique in every way. There is no other human being exactly like you. So cherish your uniqueness, and when you approach an NLPN, when you ask NLPN, all NLPNs will respect you. That means, according to NLP, respect the model of their world. Value or respect the individual. So when somebody comes for redressal, any kind of grievance, or we can say counseling, The NLPN, the NLP coach or NLP counselor is not supposed to sit on me, the all-knower, you are below me. No. The coach or the client subject is final. We are only serving them. As an NLPN, my job is to serve people who approach me for emotional healing. All my job is to understand them, travel along with them, be the companion. Like how, if you can use the word Ola cab, the driver job is to only pick you from where you are to where you want to go. That's all. Same way as NLPN, we help a person to go from where they are to where they want to go. Everything is decided by them. And NLP believes you already have all the resources you need. And it has process to bring the resource out and employ in the direction you wanted. NLP very clearly says you are not your behavior. Meaning you may be currently a person you don't like. I don't like myself because I'm upset most of the time. I get angry most of the time. I am like this, I am like this, like this. NLP says, no, don't see yourself as a behavior. Yes, you may be behaving in a way you don't approve. That's only a part of you. The whole is much bigger, nobler, glorious than one unwanted part. So dissociate yourself, study that unwanted behavior, alter the program, make it appropriate, install inside and move forward. Same way when a client comes to you, tomorrow when you complete NLP and when you want to help person and when you meet a person and who comes to you for help, even if you don't approve of his behavior, you're supposed to respect him because you must see beyond the exhibited behavior of the person. So you are not your behavior is only a part of your whole. This is what is called modeling. If it is possible for someone else, it is possible for you also. If one can do, anyone can do. So if you want to succeed in your life, NLP has got tools and you can pick people who are already exhibiting that qualities and abilities whom you appreciate, and you can pick those qualities from them, instill in you, and you can exhibit it. And there is no failure, only feedback. There is no failure, only feedback. So all our failures are only learning. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of the success journey. Yeah. The only thing about NLP is that you are responsible for you. There is no external agency which can do the work for you. You are doing the thinking inside your head, and so you are responsible for the consequences of your thinking. There is no deputation for your thinking. You cannot employ somebody else to think inside your head on your behalf and do the work. So NLP says that you are responsible. If your life has been successful, pat yourself because your thinking is the right direction. If you find that your life is not going in the appropriate direction, that you are not meeting success, that you have been facing failure, that your life has been not satisfactory, the problem is not outside. The problem is inside in your thinking. So with the tools of NLP, you can identify which are all your limiting beliefs, blocks, and you can work on that, consciously program your mind and put it to subconscious mind, and subconscious mind, the giant or the genie inside you, will bring success for you. A lot of people have benefited by running NLP program. One senior manager suddenly felt overwhelmed by his responsibility, about 2,000 people under him, and suddenly felt that somewhere there's a gap between him and his subordinate and team. So he felt somewhere uncomfortable. So he approached me for support. So through coaching, I helped him regain his confidence in managing, and he's today really smooth and successful. One rice merchant, wholesale merchant in Chennai, after an NLP intervention, he is now exporting rice to Southeast Asian countries. That's a growth. One homemaker, she had to really start earning because of pressure at home, economical compulsion. And now she's a successful businesswoman into share trading. And she's really, really happy about the NLP tool I gave her for being focused and not being emotional doing trading. And one person was taking sleeping tablet to get sleep every day for almost 2 decades. And a stage came when the psychiatrist said, my friend, I'm sorry that you cannot anymore take sleeping tablets because your liver is enlarging. So if you keep on taking sleeping tablets for sleep, maybe you may have liver problem. Seek alternate ways of getting sleep. So somebody Google search found my name, and then he called me, and then I had 3 sessions with him. And now without any external support, he is able to sleep peacefully. A 2-decade problem solved in 21 days time. One person, chronic anxiety. Morning means anxiety for him. Going to office, anxiety for him. Lunch, anxiety for him. I mean, anxiety everywhere around, So he had, and he never had peace of mind. Through proper NLP intervention, he regained it. Marital martial. That means couples fighting. They could find bliss in their family life. But I can keep on saying it. All these things happen simply by programming their mind. And the beauty of NLP intervention is there is no side effect. Either there is effect or delayed effect or no effect at all. But there is no side effect because your resource is used inside your head. There is nothing externally injected into your system. There is no corona going into your system by somebody's touch. No. Your own positive resources are realigned in a way which is useful for you. So NLP methodology is an absolutely safe methodology without any side effect. I have not so far read any report or complaint or article about somebody became mentally imbalanced because of NLP. I'm not so far. Yeah. So that way NLP is a very safe system. What about you then? I leave it to you to decide what you want to do with NLP. Yeah. So who can benefit from NLP is those who have the attitude of curiosity and eagerness to experiment. What can I do about my life? Like we can say a child is always curious and it is eager to experiment. It does not bother of failure or any other funny behavior. It just keeps on doing again and again. It learns. So same childlike curiosity and eagerness you have, and you can definitely benefit from NLP. That means those who take responsibility for change and are willing to undergo the process of NLP benefit from NLP. So nobody can impose NLP in you. It's only the individual has to choose, and individual needs to submit or surrender to the process, then the change can happen. So like the dog self-control is being given here. Yeah. A quick takeaway for you I'm giving. This is called the 5-second rule. You can just change anything like this. Change anything means your mood, you can change anything just like that. Whenever you feel upset or angry or impatient or any of the mental state you don't want it, don't just fight it. What the hell is, what the shucks? No, don't do that. Simply say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change. Just do some physical movement. Just change the pattern, because NLP says mind and body are parts of the same system. So if you can use your physiology appropriately, then you can change your mind also. When your mind is brisk and bright, the body also bright. So anytime you are stuck in any kind of situation mentally, then don't be just stay put over there. Simply say immediately 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, succeed. Just do like that. You don't have to even shout out 5, 4, 3, 2. Mentally also you can calm. You can do like that. So just shake yourself mentally, physically, you can get out of your mind state. because whole of your life is all about how you behave internally is exhibited externally, and this 5-second rule can help you in any place. What next then? Okay, we have having known NLP. So how to approach NLP is, one is certification course. People undergo certification course, NLP practitioner, a master practitioner, NLP trainer. So designated courses are available anywhere from 4 days to 10 days, depending on the organization, their logistics, their wherewithal. And then you are given a certificate at the end of it as certified NLP practitioner. Yeah? Where in the certification course, participants will be taken through a number of tools and techniques, methodologies, language patterns, yeah, for behavior modification, for thinking change. All these things will be taught. And at the end of the course, a certificate is given. That's one thing. Two is coaching. Maybe you have a very specific need, maybe to improve your decision making, maybe goal setting, maybe leadership skill. So maybe you identify a very specific area of your life you want to improve. Maybe you can have NLP coach, you can engage a coach and then have coaching. Or you have emotional problems, stress, depression, anxiety, or uncontrollable emotions. Maybe you can go for emotional healing or NLP therapy. So these are the options that are available for people seeking NLP help. And this is what I'm doing. Yeah, the coming batch of NLP Practitioner Course I'm running, which opens on July 18th. It's a 40 hours of training, online, offline, assignments, homework, and test. At the end of it, you will be given as NLP Basic Practitioner. It's signed by Dr. William Harton, who is the founder of NLP USA. So I'm associated with him, and you will receive a certificate from him as NLP Practitioner, which is a lifetime certificate. Once you have it, you can display it, and you can say that I am a certified practitioner, and you can start practicing it. And for 30 days after the program is over, you can seek my support in terms of refreshment of your knowledge or any doubt. I'm here to support you. So anybody wanting to enroll can enroll, and there is a special benefit you can get. Send an email from where you got this webinar login ID. Send a mail to Prosenix, and you are ready to register. Then tomorrow you will get the special benefit and you can enroll for this course. All right then, so it's 8 o'clock and I wish to close the seminar. Thank you very much for being with me, for spending 1 hour with me, all those who are with me. As promised, you are with me, and you helped me to share my insights on neuro-linguistic programs. It's a fascination for me, and I've helped thousands of people. And if you're ready to get help from me, I am ready here. Please shoot a mail to Mr. Prasad. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.